Hey guys, my name's Trevor. This is the first time I've ever actually done anything like this. I got inspired by a guy named Biopredator, and he did a Hulk costume for Halloween, for a Halloween contest, and I got super inspired, so I decided to go ahead and make my own version of it. Kind of took a couple footnotes from him and then made a little bit of improvements here and there, did a little bit more shopping around for foam and stuff like that. As you can see, I'm about halfway through. Right now I have the front part of it done, I have the abs set in. Next I'll probably be working on like the serratus, I'll be putting in the side parts of the obliques here, just to kind of tie everything else together. Like I said, I am no pro by any means or anything of that nature, so I mean everything that you see here is just kind of going off of what I know to do anatomically, how I wanted it to look. You know, I really wanted it massive, so that's what I went with. And just to give a scape, the bicep and tricep area from the front to the back here is about 12 inches or so. So I mean it's pretty significantly big. It ranges right now about 40 inches across, and I have some elevated shoes that I'm going to be wearing that's going to put me at about 6'5". So it's going to be monstrous. So that's the plan for right now, is to kind of just keep feeling it out and keep going with it. I'll go over some of the products I'm using for all the foam that you see here that's on the chest, the traps, everything upper body. It's a high density foam. I found it from an upholstery distributor about a couple weeks ago. And I used a 5" by 24" by 82" piece. You can kind of see it there, but it's not necessarily in the frame. The bigger the piece that I wanted to go with the biggest piece I could possibly find, so that way I can kind of chisel out what I needed in order to get to this. Because I figured the best bang I can get for my buck for any type of material is going to be directly through the distributor. If you go to Joy & Fabrics or you go to Hobby Lobby, it's going to be ridiculously expensive just to try to achieve the same stuff that I've achieved for probably a quarter of the price, maybe a third of the price. So that was the high density upholstery foam that I used. I started off with this piece to do some of the cutting. This is a Black & Decker knife. Can't really see it right here in the frame. It's a Black & Decker 9" electric knife. It was great for what it's worth. It did a lot. It did really well just for the beginning part of it, to kind of shave everything down to get the shape and everything I was looking for. But unfortunately the blade started dulling out, so it just didn't end up working for me. I was going to get another replacement blade, but you can't. You just have to buy a whole new thing, and it's like another 15 bucks. So I decided to upgrade, and what better way than the manliest way to I know to go about it is to use a Sawzall. Now I bought this Sawzall for probably like 92 bucks, 93 bucks from Home Depot. It's fantastic. I mean, Milwaukee, you really can't go wrong. The current blade that I have on there right now, I use to saw down pallets and like deconstruct them. It's called the Wrecker blade. And like I said, it's got some pretty kick-ass power to it. So, I mean, I started off with a small electric knife and did some shaving, but it took some time. But once I got everything put on here and I started using the Sawzall, everything went way faster. Obviously, because this is a much more powerful tool. Now, I will say you don't have as much control necessarily over how you're going to shape it, so you have to be really careful and be able to control like exactly where you want it to shape, because you can cut it wrong, and if you cut it wrong, it's not that big of a deal because you can tack it back on with the adhesive. But regardless, you kind of want to do it right the first time, you know. At least that's the approach that I'm taking. Now, as far as adhesive goes, I've been using from another guy that I saw on YouTube, Super 77. Can't really see it that well in the frame. It's a 3M Super 77. It's pretty tacky. I usually wait about 2 minutes or so in between once I apply it to each piece. So like for the chest piece, for instance, I just cut out the actual chunk that I was going to use for the left pec here, sprayed it on the back, sprayed it on the actual suit that I have, and then waited about 2-3 minutes or so till the contact between either one of those didn't really tack much up on my fingers. So, and then I went ahead and adhered it right to it, and it stuck pretty well. if there were any problems or anything like that, or where it didn't tack really well at all, I would just go and spray it, wait another few minutes, then try to re-tack it down. And I used a little bit of electric tape to help try to keep the shape of it, just to keep it right where I wanted to, and left that there for like 15-20 minutes, maybe 30 minutes or so. But yeah, the actual piece itself is the suit itself is a morph suit. It's Lycra made, so it's really movable. It's very flexible. It also came with the fingers and everything on there, which was great. Comes with the feet. It comes up to an open face hood that's right here. I found this on Amazon for like 35 bucks, I think 36 bucks, something like that. It's pretty decently priced, as opposed to getting like a full. I was going to go with a wetsuit, like a diver's wetsuit, but it was just going to be really expensive and doesn't breathe well at all. And here in Florida, it's going to be ridiculously hot for Halloween, so I want to try to make this as breathable as possible. So this is just a basic update. I've already done, probably put in about maybe a good 12 to 15 hours into it already, as you can see. It's gotten along pretty well. I'm pretty happy with where I'm at, but we're going to keep chugging along here, and I will update shortly, and we'll see how further we get today.